Some people ask why this method? Why use the Phys video lecture method to create lectures for a flipped classroom? And we've identified 5 reasons that are based upon the research we've done and our logic. Reason number 1, this is a low barrier technology. Once we have shown a teacher how to do this, any teacher can start moving forward with flipping their classroom using this method tomorrow, because it's just a very simple camera on a tripod. I've got some whiteboards that I can write my information on, and it's a one-take video. So I hit record, I do my thing, I hit stop, and that product is finished. Again, any teacher can move forward with doing this tomorrow. Whereas many times we put teachers in a room and we'll start talking about advanced software or editing skills that they need to develop before they can move forward with creating content, which loses, in my experience, loses about 90% of the teachers in a room when you start talking about those advanced tools. Second, this requires a deeper level of thinking. If I'm limited to just boards and some markers, these limitations create efficient and to-the-point lectures. I really have to think about, okay, what do the students really need to know, and what's the most simple way of representing that on this board so that they understand it and they're ready to come into the classroom and do the higher level applications. I really have to go through a serious process of thinking to pare it down to get at the essence of the information, as opposed to the overwhelming possibilities of a digital presentation, where it's almost infinite possibilities. It never has to end. If I'm putting together a PowerPoint presentation, there are always better diagrams, better images that I can find, Google search and all this stuff. It's just endless, and it can be very overwhelming when teachers just want to get at the essence of their content so their students learn the basics in order to come in to apply those basics. Number 3, this utilizes the power of note-taking. So you have a teacher basically taking notes on a board and showing students how they took notes. So then the students watch the teacher explaining their notes, and the students take handwritten notes. And we know from the research that if students take handwritten notes, it increases their retention of the information. And many times in digital presentations, we have gotten away from having students take notes because of the last issue. The presentations are so dense with all these diagrams and these complex images that we can't possibly have students take notes because it would take them too long. So we print off and hand students notes, which is missing a huge opportunity to increase the retention of the information for the students if they take it in their own handwriting. Number 4 is video quality. And we really like this video quality that we create with the one-take video. It's nice, close, personal, everything's bright and can be seen. And from the research, in order to create really engaging and powerful lectures like this, we need to utilize eye contact, facial cues, and gesturing to keep the audience engaged. As opposed to a teacher filming their lecture content using something like an interactive whiteboard, where the interactive whiteboard is very bright. So the camera is going to focus on that bright whiteboard, darkening the teacher, diminishing the power of eye contact, facial cues, and gesturing because the teacher's expressions are dark in that room. And usually the room has to be even a little bit darker. So it's really focusing on the brightness of that content, and the teacher sort of takes a back seat. Or some sort of screen capture software or screen capture device which is capturing a digital presentation on a computer, where a teacher might be, the teacher's face might be down in the lower right-hand corner, which is much less personal. It limits eye contact and facial cues, and it really takes away the gesturing that is so powerful for keeping students engaged. Here, we're going to look up here and down here. It's a very human attribute to point at things and draw attention. And the 5th reason, probably the most impactful and important, is that we are modeling a low-barrier creative process for our students that requires deep-level thinking and that is focused on the content, not on the technology. I've sat in a number of different, observed a number of different classes where students are working with advanced software programs or doing some sort of editing. And it's just amazing to me that they always fall into this, into the overwhelming possibilities. Like I was talking about before, that I will watch students spend an entire class period in math class arguing over the color of their title slide and what font their title should be, which has nothing to do with learning math. That's focusing on the technology, not the content. The great thing about this is it forces students to focus on the content. Also forces teachers to focus on the content and not the technology. So if we're modeling low barrier creative process for students, that means we have the teacher creating video content like this. And then the best thing we can do to challenge the students in the classroom is say, hey, I've modeled this way of really focusing in on the content and this deep level thinking about the content. Now I challenge you, the students, to create your own, so students can now create their own lecture content in the image of what they see their teacher doing every day.